falls. It's at the top of Telluride. They are spectacular. So, I'm going to attempt to narrate this trip. This is Bridal Falls, I will later discover. This is at the end of the Box Canyon at Telluride, Colorado. The drive up, we were warned, was four-wheel drive only. That proved to be true, and high wheel clearance. It's pretty dramatic for a novice like me, but Mr. Avalanche proved to do a very good job, and I was very happy with the way that she rode up. I'm scared to death of heights, so driving past some of these cliffs, as you'll see as we move through, was pretty interesting, especially when some folks park their trucks and cars on the edge of the road. Now, this is still pretty low on the totem pole, but the drive up was pretty spectacular after the next switchback. We got a good surprise here at the first corner. We were held to stop by this guy, apparently with the Forestry Service. If you look coming in the top of the frame, there's a drone coming down, and it's coming into land. That's why he stopped us. As it gets closer, you'll see the dust pop up. I was pretty excited to get this on the camera. Purely by accident, I had no idea what was going on. The dust starts right now, and it lands, and you'll get to see it as we go by.
I got that on the GoPro video.
Well, we've been given permission to go around the corner. You can see there by that white truck, the drone is sitting on the ground on its landing gear. We make the turn here in a second. Again, it's a pretty cool surprise. We'll make our first edge here, then now you'll start to get a taste of some of the excitement I was telling you about trying to get up this hill. As we get further on, it gets more and more technical. Actually, and at the very top of this, there's a power station that actually still generates power for the town. At the very top, you don't have access to it. We could have walked to it, but by the time I got up there, I was about to piss myself, so I elected not to walk over there. Here's a really cool shot of the falls that you were looking at from the very bottom of the, at the very start of the recordings that I was making here. It's pretty dramatic as you make the turn here. You can just look over off to the right, and there it is. We're about halfway up maybe now as we turn up this next switchback. Like I said, I've cut out a lot of the just driving along because it's long, and I wanted actually to get most of this on in less than 15 minutes. It's about an hour of video, so I chopped a bunch of it out, but I left most of the most interesting stuff. Here we've got to pass this vehicle as we go up. We kind of have a little war of who goes first as we pass each other, but it was actually no drama as we got close. There was plenty of room at this area. So he went ahead and went by me. Oh, actually I went by him. Yeah, there were several of these. I cut out a few of them. We didn't run into too many more people. Here's the next switchback. I think this one we had to kind of maybe cut this one a little bit back and forth to get around the corner. Again, the Jeeps can just make this turn no problem, but the Avalanche is such a big vehicle. It really was probably not a wise decision to take this monster up there, but it did okay, and I'm proud of us making it up there. As you see now, well, I cut it out. Here is a section where we we're driving past some vehicles that have parked. This is the last leg up to the power station. We're kind of flying along here, but it gets a little narrower, and when I pass any vehicles that are exactly the same size as mine, I had to really slow down because my mirrors and their mirrors kind of matched up, so I had to make sure that we didn't hit anything. I ended up just actually closing my mirrors against the truck. A lot of the folks had already done that. Some of them did not, like this truck here. That one was kind of close. It gets worse as we get by. There's a white Jeep at the very top where it gets very narrow that I was literally just inches from as I drove by it. It was a lot scarier going up because I couldn't see where my wheels and where the edge of the dirt road was. And as you can see now, you look off that right side of the truck where John was sitting, it's straight down. And you know, if you go over, you're not stopping for a very, very long time. So we get past this, we're both exhausted by now, just sweating bullets. And then we're wondering if we're going to be able to even turn around just because of how short on space we are here. But again, you know, just kept backing up, going forward, inching along. And so I got it turned around. As we point up the hill here, we'll get there in just a second. This is actually a one-way road the other direction. This is from here going across, starting at the falls, is Black Bear Summit Pass. This actually goes to Ouray, Colorado, and hooks into US 550, which I featured in some of the other albums that I posted about the trip. There's a spectacular drive over. It's only about 12 miles across, but it takes several hours. As you see, you can go up this way, but it's one way the other direction, and you probably anger some people. I've seen some video of the Black Bear Pass. If you want to go on YouTube and just Google Black Bear Pass 2018 or 2017, and you can see some Jeep trips. You know, this one made me, you know, piss my pants. The stuff that's in that other is just preposterous. These Jeeps are literally stair-stepping down some places that are only half as wide as this, and literally very almost no room to make any turns. You have to have a spotter to make sure you don't go over the edge as you make these switchbacks. It was pretty cool, but not for me. I wouldn't do it. I would do it on foot, but I don't know. I don't even know if I would do it on foot, some of the stuff that I saw in that video. Anyway, so I back up here, and I'm waiting for vehicles and people to get out of my way. I continue backing up here just a little bit to let folks go by, and then I let this guy go by. And then there was an army of people that kept walking up. So you can see where they kind of magically will disappear off a video as I've kind of had to cut and splice all this. Poof, how about that? Anyway, so I start down, and now you can really see what I was talking about as far as there's no stopping. You go over the side, and you know, that's just it. You know, just throw dirt over you whenever the truck stops, and you can see how close we are to the other cars. Now, for some reason, this was not nearly as scary for me coming up because I could actually see the road to my left, and I knew that my wheels were not, you know, like dangling off the other side. So as long as I inched along through here, it wasn't really that big deal. There was a couple of narrow spots that kind of got me straight. There's a little hole between a red truck that I kind of dove in a little bit to kind of make the turn a little bit easier. The one thing about going back down is that you really got a different perspective of the trip, because as you make these switchbacks, instead of facing the mountain, you're facing out. And this first switchback that we're coming to, I think I cut the video after this last car, and I'll cut in and I'll chop in right next to the switchback. But the view of the valley is just spectacular, and I stopped the video. We got out for a little bit. We took some pictures. There was nobody coming up and down behind us, so it was I didn't have to go park or move anything. So we just jumped out, snapped a few pictures, and they're in the album that I posted about Telluride. But you'll get the picture right here. So we make this first turn, and you look out over the valley, and it's like, holy cow! It's pretty amazing. Just past on the left, you see the edge, and if you look down in the center of the valley, you can see just the edge of Telluride, which is just on the other side of that mountain. You can't really see the town too much from here. You can from the top, and I did not get that picture. I don't know why. Well, I do, because I was rattled. But anyway, so we turn here, and we continue taking some pictures, and the rest is pretty much no drama going down the rest of the way. But what a sight and what a spectacle. When I got to the top, I was really rattled, and I didn't know what the hell I'd done getting up there. But by the time I got down here and was making my way down, and you see these waterfalls, and then you turn out again at the switchback and look out over the valley, you know exactly why you did it. I mean, it is just it's very impressive. I love Telluride. Telluride was a great city. It's only a town. Very few people. There's only about 2,000 people actually live there year round. There's a Jeep coming around the corner, but as the Jeep will come by, I tell the guy to go back. It's a trap.
Go back, it's a trap.
So anyway, I make the turn here, and these are our drone guys again, and they're staring out over the valley. So I'm scratching my head. So as I make the turn, I stop, and if you look just over the top of the mountain and under that white cloud to the right of it a little bit, you can see the drone hovering over the edge there. Very cool. Again, a complete surprise. Very cool to get this. We actually, I have some video of some other pieces of the trip. I'll call it the windshield videos, because I've literally got the suction cup attached to the windshield as we drive along. But it's a great perspective, because it's kind of the bird's eye or windshield view that you get. This is further on down the mountain. I got held up by this Dodge, and he got all panicked about letting someone through and thought he was going to go, well, I'll just pull up on the edge here. He hikes up his back wheel. I was like, dude, what's wrong? Just back up. So I stopped where I was, and he had plenty of room to back up and let these other folks go. But again, you don't know who you're dealing with on the other side, so that makes some of these drives a little bit more interesting. He continues on here in a little bit. Now I'll cut away from this here soon. As we get back down, there's lots more video to this. The trip up and down was about an hour. Again, I got most of it on video, but an hour is too long, and I think the 15 minutes that I've actually put on here is actually still too long. But it's all that I could shorten it to, without losing some of the perspectives and some of the excitement of the drive up and down. We finally get down to the bottom, and you can see the falls in the distance, and I get my picture here of the truck.
Shut that back door.
It's kind of one of my traditions. I started doing this when we were in Yosemite. I took windshield video. There's the truck. There's the camera on just above the driver's side. I started doing that in Yosemite. We took a drive through Yosemite Valley with a camera on there. It was very cool. But this is John and I waving goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed this. We had a lot of fun going up here. Colorado's beautiful.